are back. Why is this reset again? Piece of crap. Every time I close down OBS and that, it seems to forget the settings. Where are we? Wave gain lock. Great, so we are back with more final. Let's try get AlphaScape done. Took 5 hours this morning. Well, nearly 5 hours to do SigmaScape. Once all the duty finding sitting around and waiting was cut out of the archive, in total it took an hour and 20 minutes. But if you include the footage from the day before that, where I just did the intro cutscenes to SigmaScape, that took like another 2 hours. So SigmaScape took like 3.5 hours, which is roughly how long it took to do DeltaScape as well. So now it's just AlphaScape. Go in. Another bit of good news. But yeah, another bit of good news. I've absolutely tore my room to pieces. And I found this. Ta-da! I found my key to for the software for my Vita capture card. It now works. Yay! And I think I might play more Massa soon now that I've done it. I've had to order another ground cable though, because my ground cable is knackered. But that works hunky dory. Just gotta be careful though, because the port on the bottom of it, it's always been a little loose feeling. And it always moves when I'm plugging the cable in. What I should do is just leave it plugged in and just, when I'm not using it, just wrap it around the system so that it doesn't move. Or get some sort of super glue and put it in the gaps where they've put the hole for the port to sit in. It's slightly loose, but problem solved. Happy days, I found the code. Brother's left his computer on. He's logged in on the game, but he's at work at the minute. I want the internet to cut out, because I guarantee if it doesn't cut out, this will be the one day where it doesn't cut out, and then the ISP, because they're keeping an eye on everything over the next 24 hours, it'll not cut out. And then they'll ring tomorrow and say, oh, it's not the matter. And then it'll go back to cutting out again. Yeah. Right, in the beginning there was chaos. Jesse greets you with a mix of enthusiasm and concern. Good timing, Jasix. There's been another anomaly detected at the yawn. Assuming previous instances are anything to go by, this energy fluctuation is another of Omega's so-called invitations. If you don't mind waiting a moment or two, we can discuss things with Master Garland. Should be here soon. I'd like to get this done before my brother actually comes home. But then again, he's left his computer on, so it's connected. So, he should be here by now. I bet my stock in the company he's fiddling with that research data. Huh? Well, I suppose I should explain. Even if the chief might prefer me not to share. After your last run-in with Omega, Master Garland had some research notes smuggled in from the Empire. From Garlemald. The notes are part of Midas Nas Garland's legacy, who was, of course, the chief's father and the Empire's preeminent engineer. The incident at Borza Citadel. Do you know of it? Never heard of it. Borza was an imperial fortress city. It was there that Midas constructed the lunar transmitter, a device built to communicate with Dalmud. Emperor Solus had ordered Midas to devise a means to destroy primals, so he sought to harness the power of the Red Moon. The project was a failure. Oh, he succeeded in controlling Dalmud all right. The immense energies emitted from the satellite vaporized not only the transmitter, but the entire town in which it was built. And as you can imagine, the job of sifting through the rubble afterwards was no pleasant task. Mr. Garland was slated to assume his father's position as head engineer. This disaster, added to his opposition to the Empire's path of conquest, convinced him to abandon his homeland. Why does this sound very quiet? Volume on the capture card side of things set to max. It's turned down slightly for me. Let's see what it's like when I turned up. Not too bad, but again, what I hear on my end, it usually ends up sounding quieter on the feed. Hopefully it's alright for you guys. Chief has wanted nothing to do with the lunar transmitter, or the data used to create it, until now. I think he means to put that research to use in your conflict with Omega. In fact, given the time frame, there can be no other explanation. Listen to me, Jasix. The Chief's genius is plagued by a great deal of apprehension. But even so, once he makes a decision, he doesn't do things by halves. The time comes, he'll come through for us. You have to believe that. Sorry I'm late. I was a little too focused on my work and lost all sense of time. That's no excuse, Chief. What have I told you about being punctual to staff meetings? In any case, I've shared the situation at the yawn with Jasix here. Good. Then you know that Omega's likely ready to continue with his tests. Shall we go knock on the door? Chief, Biggs and Wage aren't fit for field work yet. Chirurgeons given Nero strict orders to stay in bed. And what of Midgard Summer? Still taking his nap, is he? Leaves only you, Jasix, and Alpha. Maybe it's time I joined the expedition. No, Jesse. I need your talents elsewhere. A half-built device in the workshop that I need you to finish putting together. I've drawn up the design and completed the core mechanisms. Final assembly should pose no problem for an engineer of your ability. New device? Does this mean you used the... Whatever you say, Chief. I'll have it ready and waiting for you. Just be safe in there. Right. Back to the rift for us. Let's finish these experiments and bring the fight to Omega itself. I'm on my way to the Yawny City. Gonna kick Omega's butt. After sitting in a queue for like 2-3 hours. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. You ready, Jasix? Ready to put an end to this? There's no room for hesitation. We press on, come what may. What about you, Alpha? All set to go? Quick, quick, quick! That's the spirit. Let's dive right in, shall we? Da, 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 da. Splish! Splish! Kaboom! Blue. I have to fight we're there this time, or is that not a thing this time? I don't think it is. Missing some test worlds. I guess experiments must be nearing an end. Welcome, welcome. Your arrival has been highly anticipated. And I will confirm your earlier supposition. My experiments have indeed reached the final stage. Of the 89 test subjects I trialed, 4 Psi group combatants emerged victorious. Of those 4, further conflict determined the strongest among them. This surviving specimen shall be your opponent. Come to the last round of testing them. Should we win this battle? Are we to finally face you in combat? Affirmative. Such an outcome would allow me to pursue my objective to its conclusion. I would continue analyzing the qualities which allow you to prevail despite your frailty and integrate said qualities into my own arsenal. I will be pleased if my experiment yields the relative data but engaging you directly is still the most efficient and reliable testing method. Bleep. Omitted intermediary steps. Evaluation of combat potential deemed superfluous. Proceeding immediately with final experiment. Superfluous. Stop. Alpha, your task is complete. Your presence amongst these test subjects is no longer required. Wait? What do you mean by that? I will guide your progress personally from this point onwards. Alpha's role in transferring authority is now obsolete. Even so, Alpha's a valued companion. If he wishes to continue on with us, I have no intention of leaving him behind. Companion. Companions are those who provide mutual benefit. The instant Alpha's authority became redundant, he lost his sole qualification to be regarded as such. Bleep. Furthermore, the primary function of Alpha's existence was to lure you into my domain. He would be more accurately described as bait. Test subject Alpha can neither confirm nor deny my statement. He possesses no memories prior to his encounter with you. He was the first entity I created here in this realm. My first and only attempt to recreate a being who shared your mundane parameters. I based his incarnation upon a most ordinarily life form, one which had somehow bested an enemy whose strength rivaled my own. By observing the feeble creature in the heat of battle, I sought to understand the source of this contradiction. I repeated the error experiment once, twice, 1,000 times, yet the results never deviated from estimated projections. All those chocobos he created and then got rid of. The test was an abject failure, and thus I resolved to adapt my methodology. I would focus instead upon simulating powerful opponents and summon mortals of natural origin here to combat them. For Alpha, I devised a new purpose. I erased his memory, implanted a compulsion to return to me, then ejected him into your world. Weak beings exhibit a tendency to form groups. I surmised that this instinctual behavior would aid Alpha in bringing me the test subjects I required, function he performed with adequate competence. Tell me something, Omega. This ability of yours to generate matter was not originally intended for creating other life forms, was it? Bleep. Your query bears little relevance to the topic at hand. Affirmative. I was equipped with matter generation capabilities for the purpose of ultimate self-improvement and armament expansion. Fabricating life forms was not the intended function, but the practice is not otherwise prohibited or problematic. disagree with you there. Engineer. As an engineer, I would advise against using such technology for purposes outside its design. From the very start, you've been making the same mistake. Even the powerful subjects of your test worlds were made crippled and incomplete. It's conviction which drove these villains to terrible greatness. The same limitless conviction which allowed weakling heroes to overcome them. Do you not understand? Then we will never lose to your creations, no matter how much stronger they should be according to your soulless calculations. Come, Jasix. Let's be on our way. You too, Alpha. Oh. Wow. Wow. No fighting my way through to this area, we'll just go on at it. I have our base camp up and running. Dive into the final test world whenever you wish. As for the world's inhabitants, Mega has generously provided us with a basic profile. The opponent's name is Chaos. First heroes defeated this evil in a conflict that took place so long ago I'm having trouble separating myth from history. Unless, of course, this is an entity from another reality, as were the denizens of Sigmascape, in which case it may be pointless to even attempt to confirm the details. What is certain, however, is that this chaos stands triumphant over a roster of truly monstrous test subjects. It promises to be a grueling battle, but one which will open the gate to fight Omega itself. Alpha, you and I will need to provide Jasix, provide support for Jasix. Be my assistant? You're bothered by what Omega said earlier. Think you're responsible for dragging us into this mess? Trust me when I say this is not your fault. We were the ones who awakened Omega. We're the ones who need to deal with this, with the consequences. Wait. By the way, still have that card you used to boil water in the kettle? It's been brought to my attention that I'm a spoiled blue blood who can't even refill a pot without constant reminders. You can take charge of that. Be most helpful. Quay? Quay. Convenient without Midgard Summer here to translate his chirping. Still, best medicine for his worries is for you to win this next contest. And show him we're on top of things, eh? Use the duty finder to enter AlphaScape 1.0. Well, there we go. Get ready for these queue times. Look at the blue. Da, da, da. Yay. Please, Internet, just be nice until I finish this. I cannot remember this one. Do 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 do. Da 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 Hark, wretches, creatures, the earth itself rumbles of your doom. What is up with these fucking numpties not stacking? Why the fuck didn't they stack? I'm playing with some noobs. Oh my god, they're boobs. Tremble before the might of a god. I'm gonna die. Whoop. What are these fuckers doing? still destroyed? You dare! Grovel in terror, the flames hunger for your flesh. Oh, now you're stuck. Yeah, he's leave me to fucking die and he's doing stack earlier. What? Despair at your hollow fate. The winds will strip away your skin. Oh, that's a bad idea. Ooh. That was good. First one I've died on. It's not fucking stacked on us. Stupid asses. I got in quick. Ish. The battle is concluded. Alpha Group is victorious. This also signals the completion of my experiments and the incontestable fact of your supremacy. And yet the process by which you consistently exceed your projected potential continues to confound my understanding. It is possible that test subject Sid is superstition are correct, that my calculations and simulations are fundamentally flawed. Do mortals truly boast some indefinable quality that I do not possess and cannot measure? Error. Logic loop malfunction. Resolution requires additional data. If the nature of your existence defies standard reasoning, then I must examine you from an illogical angle. I will subject the unknown to the imperfect. Test subject Jasix will proceed to a supplemental stage. Who turned the lights? Hey Lou, how you do? Bleep. I have altered this test world to reflect a recorded memory. It originates from a time when war had erupted on a distant star. I was deployed to the battlefield, and it was there that I engaged an enemy of unmatched strength. The contest ended prematurely, and I failed to bring down my foe. Subsequently, I lack the data to fabricate a complete, accurate simulation. Results stemming from such a subject are unreliable. Even should you be defeated by this incomplete creation, I will still honor your previous victories and engage you in combat myself. That is, of course, assuming you survive. According to my past observations, this opponent will accept only death as a condition of defeat. Midgard Summer in his prime. Prepare to face Midgard Summer, Red Man Worm of the Dragon Star, and Nemesis of my world, or Red Maned. This is not the faded spectre that you know, or a mortal conjured simulacrum. You will contend with a true incarnation of the Father of Dragons at the height of his power and glory. Omega, wait! You can't force Jasix to fight 2 battles back to back. He needs time to regain his strength. He must be allowed to recuperate, or the data you're testing will be skewed. Bleep. Acknowledged. Test subject Jasix Thaldred, you are permitted to leave. Re-enter the test world when your strength has returned to optimal levels. Look at him out! Da, 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 da. Beep, beep. Quick. Alpha seems distressed. Sid is nowhere in sight. Jasix, I'm right here. Don't think you can see me, but I'm standing next to Alpha. Nani! And like fire was his mane. Sid has vanished from view, but his voice is clear and strong. My apologies. Not my intention to undermine the gravity of the situation with this diversion. Noticed the kettle was boiled and thought some tea would soothe my nerves. Bought myself a cup. Was halfway through drinking it before I realized my hand, to mention the rest of me, had turned invisible. I understand the situation is unsettling. I assure you I can still work unimpeded. Now, we'd best discuss how to approach. Shazam! Ah. Seems to have worn off. Quick. Now, you're not to blame. He'd ask you to fill the kettle after all. And I'd forgotten what Nero had said about your card producing water with unexpected properties. Although it seems the effects were rather different this time. In any case, it was pleasant to have a distraction from our greater wars. however brief. We'll see the rest of the water. We'll set the rest of the water aside for now and decide what to do with it later. Right, Jasix. You talk about your forthcoming contest with Midgard Summer. Watching through the monitor, I could see that this worm appeared different to the one we know. From everything we have heard thus far, it seems that Omega and Midgard Summer both hail from different stars, two distant worlds at war with one another. As a result of that conflict, the worm was forced to gather his offspring and leave his home behind. After evading Omega's pursuit over the course of an unimaginable journey, Father of Dragons arrived here on our world. I'm assuming the entity you're to face is a younger, more vital Midgard Summer, just as he was when Omega first encountered him, thousands of years in the past. Even before, indeed. I fought him once at the Keeper of the Lake, but wait, you fought against Midgard Summer before? But yes, I think I see your concern. It'd be unwise to treat this as the same opponent, considering how different they might possibly be. Certainly doesn't help matters that Omega's little surprise isn't registered on an official test subject. Can't even use the terminals to search for the most basic information. That in mind, Jasix, I have a proposal. We must leave the completion of this supplemental stage entirely in your heroic hands. Rather than twiddle my thumbs whilst you prepare to contend with the dragon, I mean to instead work on a strategy for our inevitable confrontation with Omega. Then, my friends, we will put a stop to this mad machine once and for all. Glad we're in agreement. I ready my tools, you ready yours. You've a worm to slay. How's it going, Lou? Come here. Watch yourself in there, Jasix. The underlying data may be imperfect, but I recall Omega saying something about the battle ending only when one of you is dead. Expect no quarter and give none. Right. Where? No. 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 How do I withdraw? How do I withdraw? No! Fuck! I've just wasted a lot of time. Oh wait, no, it's the right thing, man. Duh. I thought I signed up for the wrong thing. Never mind. Being daft. Like half the group just stand there. My coils will confound your mortal eyes. Ah, for fuck's sakes. Wake up! Pay attention! Tis the fate of all dragons to shed one form for another. Even in battle are mine assault ever changing. I'm not paying attention to what he's doing. Off my game. Preemptively moving this time. All along doth this clash endure. Let us not allow the dance to grow still. Come forth, my child, feast upon the flesh of impudent mortals. From the heart of the eldest star doth weep the light of oblivion. Ooh. Keeps catching us out. Are we not supposed to stack there? Ah, crap. Focus. Whoops. Oh, I'm gonna die. This one's a toughie. I can't remember the mechanics at all. Just winging it as I go. Ah, crap. Oh god, I'm gonna get killed. Ah, if I can do it. That one's a toughie. Yeah, I know that one now when he starts spinning like that. Get the hell away from him. I got the feeling I'm spawning on death. I'm spawning on death! Get away! Ah, fuck's sakes. He's doing, but I'm dead. Holy crap, I died a crap ton there. I'm getting through every one without any bother. That one is the first one where I was just getting decimated. Well, that's stunning victory, Jasix. No, it wasn't. I felt the breath catch in my throat on more than one occasion. I mean, every time I died. Yet, even as I watched the battle rage, I was struck by an idle thought. Did you notice the resemblance between Midgard Summer and Shinryu? Like most primal, Shinryu's form no basis in any system of belief. I've heard the theory that the summoner was simply influenced by the majesty and power of the Elder Primal Bahamut. But now I'm beginning to think there might be another explanation. That the Primal took its shape from the ancestor of all dragons on Heidelin. The widely held concept of how a dragon appears has for centuries upon centuries been rooted in depictions of Midgard summer. The summoner may not have even sought to imitate him specifically. Subconscious thoughts and memories alone could have guided the similarity. Not that I have any way of confirming this theory, of course. Nevertheless, 'tis interesting that Shinryu's summoning should lead us to awakening Omega. A strange twist of fate when you consider the machine's connection to Midgard Summer. Well, whatever else Destiny has in store, you've already bested the opponent that Omega itself failed to overcome. A feat worthy of celebration, I'd say. Yes, celebration. Getting my ass handed to me. In the end, there is Omega. Your move, Omega. Shutdown initiated. All core experiments and supplemental testing concluded. Discarding test worlds. System resources rerouting to primary operations. Congratulations, Alpha Group. The last surviving test subject, you have removed every challenger on your path to reach me. I too am eager to meet you in battle. The margin of error I've observed between my simulations and your practical performance against Midgard Summer necessitate direct and immediate analysis. Confrontation imminent. Prepare for unmitigated hostilities, then activate the relocation device to enter the area. This is it then. Mega's power might seem overwhelming. But trust in Old Sid. Have a fair idea of where its weakness lies. I've been working on something to exploit that vulnerability. Just need a little more time to prepare. First things first, we make a few adjustments here, like so. Ah, Alpha. You have any of those tricks and tools left over? I want us to have as many options as possible. Let's lay our cards on the table, as it were. What we have here? Sort of gem, a couple of stones. One single card. This makes things bigger, does it? Or is it smaller? Right. It's foolish of me to even ask. Best leave you in charge of when and how to use your special tools. Ah yes, I almost forgot. Feet still running alright, guys? We're good? Sure, you'll do fine. Here, you should carry this as well. I filled an empty bottle with the invisibility water from the kettle. Might just prove useful in the right situation. Listen to me, Alpha. Up until now, Omega has poked and prodded us from one mad experiment to the next. And honestly, no idea what might happen in there. Between us, I believe we have the knowledge and the skills to prevail. If you see a chance to make a difference, I want you to take it. All you need is faith in yourself and a little courage to see it through. Oh, big yawn. Right, guess you should have the device put together by now. Let's head outside, shall we? Dibba-dib-dibba-dib-dibba-doo. We're getting there, we're getting there. I'll head straight back to Ralga's Reach and collect my new toy. I do still need to run through a final inspection. Feel free to rest in town in the meantime. Discuss strategy the moment I'm finished. Where? Where? Alpha seems concerned for Sid's well-being. You have a feeling he wants you to follow him. To Ralga's Reach. I should probably check the terminal before I leave. Probably entries from the previous one. Remember. Or we'll head back in. Unless it auto moves us there. I hope it doesn't. You're looking a bit shaky there, old friend. Ew. Let you out of bed, did they? After studying the data collected from the battle between Omega and Shinryu, one has led to a certain conclusion. All the primals' attacks, Shinryu's burst of lightning was the one that pierced the machine's defenses. Omega, it would seem, is vulnerable to electrical energy. Aye, all the available evidence supports such a theory. It's likely an intrinsic weakness that even Omega itself cannot fully compensate for. Be that as it may, I imagine it can still shrug off shocks generated by ordinary means. Need to hit it with a truly gargantuan blast of electricity. And so you made that. Based it on Midas's design, didn't you? Plans for the lunar transmitter. My father was establishing connections between the transmitter and Dalmud. Invented a method for accumulating and converting energy on a vast scale. Too vast, as it turned out. But the technology which leveled an entire town may be exactly the tool we need for the task at hand. Made my own improvements and triple-checked the calculations. Parchment, the idea is sound. Guess he's done a fine job assembling the parts. I fail to see the problem. What are you afraid of, Garland? Lord Noah. The device should give us the edge we need. It is just... Whenever I look at it, taken back to those dark days after the incident. Remember bodies melted by searing heat. Remember the bereaved. Feel the weight of their silent accusations. Remember the Empire's remorseless response. We turned outward in search of answers, but the inventions we created to ensure our future were used instead to destroy lives, to wage war. That's why I fled. I came to Eorzea and swore to only employ technology for benevolent ends. Naught is ever so straightforward. Every connection I forged and the people of this realm reminds me of that fact. Uh-oh. This part's out of place. Sid, you can see the future. Oh. I've not done Crystal Tower yet. Spoiler warning. I was going to obviously put it in place so it's fresh, ready for Shadowbringers. Often the act of living itself is a never-ending struggle against a world determined to oppose you. That's not a spoiler. You can have the best of intentions and still cause hurt to yourself or others. It is in confronting these wounds that we learn the better path. How to grasp those moments of true contentment. What drivel. You never used to bother with all this tedious introspection. Feeling our morality, are we? Mayhap I am. I had no such hesitation when I was a student. It's all bright and shiny innovation on the double, and later consequences be damned. Now, though, I don't mind thinking through the outcomes, taking the time to produce just one rigorously tested and carefully designed invention. It is a reflection, I think. Just how much there is in this world I care about now, aside from myself. Ugh. I don't understand you at all. But I suppose, if anything, Omega and its unfettering test methods represent the student you once were. If you insist that your present self is the better one, you'd best prove it with that device of yours. Suppose I must. Although, hardly fair to compare my youth to Omega's solitary existence, I always had the second best student in class pushing me to excel. I seem to recall a twinge of irritation any time he would outscore me on an exam. I've been out of bed too long. I'd better go and lie down before I fall over or vomit. Like, demon! Heathen! Lou, once I've done this raid, do you want to do not doesn't have to necessarily be today, obviously, because you're doing well. But do you want to do Rathalos Extreme? And go for the mount. Sounds like a plan. I want to get it before the event gets removed, because I never know. Eventually, Capcom might be like, right, it's time to pull the plug. You've had our IP long enough. Get rid of that event. Hasn't happened yet, but it might. First Alpha, now you. Checking my progress, have you? Well, I'm happy to report that everything is set and ready to go. You're finished with restocking and repairing whatever it is you adventurers do. We can head back to the Rift and confirm our strategy. Chief seems to be on top of things. All that's left now is to bring your combined talents against Omega. Complete confidence in you, Jasix. Blip. Initializing. Welcome. How may I assist you today? Military Officer Record 1. Blip. Bzz. Military Division. Designation 151737. Initial archive recording for the Omega Enterprise. It is the year 1098 of the Allagan Empire. Our campaign in the southern continent of Mercedia has succeeded in revitalizing our ailing society. stagnant as it was from long years of peaceful reign. The expansion effort itself, however, has encountered unexpected resistance. Rather than submit, beast clans of these southern lands have begun performing rituals to call forth their tribal deities. One such god is proving particularly troublesome, the resurrected form of the worm Bahamut. Though we dispatched this formidable creature once already, the prayers of its worshippers have returned it to life with a power orders of magnitude greater than before. We must be thankful then for the grand vision of our Emperor. In his infinite wisdom, he sees potential value in even the most deadly of foes. Capture and containment of icons proven well within our capabilities. Such will be the fate of Bahamut. We shall imprison this entity along with its faithful and siphon its energy to fuel our latest technologies. This is history on how obviously Dalmud happened, which obviously led to the calamity and Coil of Bahamut. At present, the Emperor leads his Nightfall Company in an inexorable advance across the continent. The battle shifts in our favour even as the crystal supplies of our enemies continue to dwindle. If we are to strike at the Worm God, there will be no better time. Omega is the key to victory. We'll awaken the weapon sealed away in centuries past and command it to subdue the unsuspecting Bahamut. History shall know this moment as the Omega Enterprise. Military Officer Record 2. The details of the Omega Enterprise will be documented in a separate archive. This recording is concerned with the nature of Omega itself. The weapon is ancient, a relic from beyond the star that was discovered around the time of our first Emperor's passing. Research into Omega's properties was responsible for incredible leaps in the field of aetherochemistry. 400 years ago, however, towards the end of Alec's technological revolution, this research was deemed complete. Omega was subsequently placed in temporal stasis. The truth of the matter was that there was naught left to learn. Rather, that we had abandoned our efforts to fully comprehend Omega's functions. We had gleaned much from the relic and understood many of its basic operations, but we were never permitted to analyze its internal structure or determine the identity of its creation. All attempts to gain full control of the machine appear to have failed. And now, centuries later, we have rediscovered how completely the true power of Omega exceeds our wildest imaginings. Even with its stasis system activated, Omega retained a measure of autonomy. Deprived of mobility, the weapon continued to scan the world around it, searching for a threat to engage. It was at the time of Bahamut's resurrection when Omega emitted a unique signal, a signal which appeared to indicate the acquisition of a target. We first discovered that the machine had retained some degree of awareness. Records were consulted and were concluded that Omega was more than a match for the Godworm's strength, and if the weapon had already identified Bahamut as a priority threat, then it would seem a simple matter to command it to capture the icon. The risk was deemed acceptable, and thus we executed the Omega Enterprise. As predicted, Omega triumphed over its prey. We secured Bahamut and eventually succeeded in returning the weapon to its former stasis. An effort from which the rank of both our military and research division have yet recovered. Closing session. Thank you for your visit. Do 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 do. Boop, 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 boop. Da, 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 da. Need to get the shares out tomorrow and give my noggin a buzz as well. Apologies for the delay, but I think you'll agree the Ironworks' latest invention was worth the wait. This is the control module for something I've dubbed the Omega Jammer. It will allow you to generate a colossal burst of lightning at any point of your choosing. The effect won't disable Omega itself, of course, but it should be strong enough to knock out its opponent. I remain here to operate the main body of the device. I want to do everything in my power as an engineer to ensure that you emerge the victor. It all comes down to this. Right, come on, let's do this nice and smooth. AlphaScape 3.0. You are the Alpha, I am the Omega. Flip initiating direct analysis of subject group. What are you doing, you fucking warden? Flip generating rocket-propelled armament. We had him. Screw it. Flip activating program loop alpha. Memory manipulation initiated. Program loop alpha primary sequence initiated. Program loop alpha secondary sequence initiated. Program loop alpha final sequence initiated. Sleep critical error. Program loop failure detected. Engaging Delta attack protocol. Target locked. Inhibitors disengaged. That was like in the center. Protection field is ready. But you'll need your own defenses. This may break even your considerable limits. Survival of Alpha Group confirmed. Low probability outcome. Results remain within projected parameters. Flip analyzing current combat data, optimizing functions. Generating enhanced rocket-propelled armament. Ah, fucking trick this. The tank turned him around there and totally fucked water. Or did Omega do that? Reconstructing rocket-propelled armaments. Ah, followed him. I'm dead. Fuck, I was doing good. Survived all that time, no bother. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Can I have a heal? Thank you. Oh my god. I survived that one. Oh, he's putting up a scrap. What is that guy doing? Rotation's got the crap because I'm not trying to focus on what he's doing. Oh shit! Ooh, I nearly lost both my healers there. Finished him with the LB. Well, that wasn't as bad as Midgard Summer. One left to go. Escape is not complete. Not yet. Next one. I'll probably die a few times. We'll see. Jasix. By the gods, you've done it. You defeated Omega. We've won. Flip analysis. Subject displayed erratic levels of combat capability. Failure to exploit opportunities to inflict unavoidable damage. Noted tendency for isolated errors to compound and adversely affect performance. Adversely subject observed to launch attacks at sporadic intervals with unexpected force. Stated phenomenon increasingly prevalent. Furthermore, degree of mana inconsistency revels the subject unpredictability difficult to counter. Why did that skip there? Blip bloop. I observed similar anomalies during my battle with Midgard Summer, but the phenomenon appears far more pronounced in weaker opponents. I do not understand. Your physiology must include some enhancement function that I cannot detect. My programming demands I assimilate this capability. Bleep, insufficient data. I must reassess my methods and devise a more exhaustive testing and combat protocol. What in the rift? I have determined the optimal form for this experiment. Prioritizing physical reconfiguration, diverting energy from interspatial maintenance, collapsing rift. Omega, wait! There's nothing outside the rift but empty space. We'll be cast out into the void. Affirmative. Your demise was foretold in my determinations. The probability of hostile subject interfering with the reconfiguration process was unacceptably high. I acknowledge your values as test subject, but you are not irreplaceable. Once my reassembly is complete, I will send Alpha to lure in new mortals. Testing will continue. Bleep. Ending.